We're facing into Lent, it seems to be, in 2017, in a very particular period of our history when there seems to be a lot of antagonism and anger and discontent in much of the parlance, much of the language that we hear used in the public media, not just in Ireland, but right across the world. And it seems to be that Lent this year might speak into that particular situation in three different ways. First of all, I think everyone is looking for peace in their hearts. And the Christian faith says that it's by prayer, it's by engaging with the Scriptures, it's by engaging with the Jesus of Nazareth who touched his contemporaries so deeply, who still engages with us as we seek to let his word speak deep into our heart. Interesting little word that's used. We talk about disciples of Jesus. The word discipline comes from the same source. It's about learning. So a disciple needs to learn discipline in terms of how we grow and mature. And I think the first thing we're asked to do is, in the context of prayer, to introduce a certain element of uncomfortable discipline. Why? For two further reasons. One, it seems to me, and I'm thinking back to what Pope Francis said at World Youth Day in Krakow last July. First of all, much of our modern culture suggests that we should pamper ourselves. And he says the last thing that idealistic young people want to hear is that they should sort of look after themselves, become couch potatoes. He says that really destroys the idealism of the human heart. So Lent, taking on some form of discipline, prayer, abstaining from something, taking on a responsibility, trying to engage more with those in need round about us, actually is a statement of freedom. I am not just my hungers. Man does not live on bread alone, as Jesus said in one of the responses to the devil during his own temptation. So it's about discipline. But it's about discipline not in order to punish ourselves, but in order to assert my freedom. I don't believe that I have to obey my thirst. I don't believe that life is too short to say no. I think it's a statement of freedom. And the second thing, even taking it a little further, that discipline, that decision to push myself a little bit further, it's also a subversive act. In a culture that places so much emphasis on the external, that places so much emphasis on pampering myself, that places so much emphasis on me taking the easy way. And that was what Jesus was asked to do at his temptations in the gospel that we heard on the first Sunday of Lent. It's actually a subversive act. It's saying that the world is much more than just having to acquire things. And in a culture where people are feeling angry and frustrated by the way the economy works, I think we're actually providing an opportunity for many people to say, I'm rebelling in my own gracious and grace-filled way against the ideology that kills and crushes so many people. So, Lent, what might we do? I think one thing we can do is give more time to prayer. In a noisy society, engage with the Scriptures, be at peace with ourselves, discern what God might be murmuring into our hearts, and try and be at peace with the truth that comes out. And then the second thing, and obviously the whole Trócaire campaign is about that, is asking all of us to live simply so that some people can simply live. It's not possible to create a world where everyone has all the freedom they want to do everything they want and can indulge all the passions they want. That will only be possible for a small minority, and everyone else is paying the price. So I call it to all of us, young people of all ages within the church, assert your freedom. You are more than your thirsts. And have this act of rebellion against a claustrophobic culture that asks all the questions and seems so unable to provide many of the answers. Easter is at the end of the Lenten season, and we can celebrate a real liberation through the death and resurrection of Jesus if we've prepared for it during the 6.5 weeks of Lent.